Hi. Hey, everybody. So I wanted to invite y'all to come on at 9 if you can, each Friday, because for my Albert classes, we have extension adult classes. These are ones that are helping people that are working with those with neurodifferences and feel weak and weary for neurodifferences. So that way you stay strong, you stay at peace. So to support you. And one of my classes is called Blameless Lives Bible Study. So it's really interesting, and it was again start on 9 Central Standard Time each Friday because it's based off brain research, psychology, and education. So it's a neuropedagogy also within the Bible study. So y'all are invited to that. And you can always ask me about the other supportive classes that are going to start this summer. But mine is actually starting now, the Blameless Lives Bible Study, 9 o'clock. Okay, so the fourth class, so we're on the fourth class, is one of my favorite classes. It's what I consider to be for comprehension. So when they've done class number 1, remember reading specialist ready to help, that was mostly on sound processing, right? Making sure you hold out sounds, make sure you bunny hop, then conquering big words is where you split, say what you see first, say what you see last, say it all together. If it doesn't work, say the vowel short, say the vowel long, say the vowel schwa, that one. But most of the time it does work, especially if they're trusting their own brain by that point and they've gone through all the sounds. So my third one, third class, not fourth. I was jumping the gun on that. Let me do fourth today because I'm really wanting to do the fourth, and I'll go back, I promise, to the third. So no, we're out of sequence. I don't know why I was thinking fourth. Who knows with dyslexia why we do these sequencing things problems, but actually I do know, but I can tell you that that's another day. But anyway, so let's do number 4, the natural inquiry, research, and reading. So this one is considering what I'm considering with comprehension. Because they've taken classes 1 or 2, they're now reading fluently, right? You might still need to fix up words. I'll show you how to do that. But they're reading much more on a fluent level, and so they're on a sentence level of instruction. They're done with the sound and word. Now they're on sentence instruction. So let's start. What's interesting is all learning that takes place for all of us is going to be based off of Aristotle's looking at the logos, the ethos, and the pathos. Boy, is that brilliant what he said. But this is what I have found. The ethos is the source of credibility, the speaker and author's authority. That's what people with anger dominance, that's more of the left brain dominance. They're looking at the authority and what the author is speaking. So they're very much into the what. So this being their emphasis is always going to be on what. They're looking for more for facts and credibility. So this is the opposite of the neurodivergent. They're not caring about the what, not yet. But anyway, so the ethos, I want you to think of it as them wanting to find out the what. Okay. Now let's go to the pathos, which is the neurodivergent mind. They're more cared about the emotional or motivational appeals. So they're more caring about what the author's writing or how they're feeling or what the feeling is or tone. That's what they're worried about or thinking about. They're not caring again about the what. Or a motivational appeal. So is this going to be something related to something I can do in the future? So something related to the future, or something that's going to help me heal or work out what's happened to me in the past. So this is, again, the pathos is the neurodivergent mind. This is more of the shame dominant, that they care more about the vivid language. They're looking to create a picture in their mind. That's what they're very interested in. And the emotional language used and numerous sensory details. Again, that's them seeking out how to create that 3D image. That's the why. Okay, so the ethos is the whaters and the pathos are the wires. Now, it's not that the neurodivergent who are the whys, wanting to know the whys, don't care about the whats. We can care about the whats, but only when we figured out the why. Okay, just keep that in mind. So once both of them, the ethos and the pathos, get their whats and whys answered, then they're ready to use their logic and think about what they're reading, okay, or what the author's saying, what the speaker's saying, have you, mind you on that. Okay, so the ethos, the anger dominant, use induction. So what they're doing is taking those facts that they got the what from, and they're analyzing those facts. And that's their form of logic, is inductive reasoning. Did I say that wrong? I think I said that wrong. Hold on, let me think. I did say that wrong. Sorry. That's deductive. They use deductive reasoning. The anger dominant uses deductive reasoning. That's they're analyzing those facts that they've taken out from the what. Okay. So the inductive, which is the neurodiverse group, the wires, the shame dominant, want to know induction. So they're not analyzing, breaking down. Guess what they're doing? They're evaluating that picture image that's in their mind. They're looking at color, shape, size, dimension, what the feeling was, all of those, with the feeling that they get from that movie in their mind. So I do not like it, again, when people say that logic is more for the ethos group. Yes, they are better with math and analytics, and most reading that is, of course, not sight word, but phonetic, where the pathos is more about the why. They're better with the sight words and memorizing the shape of letters and words, memorizing the shape of them. So we do have logic, it just looks different. It's, again, inductive, which is not deductive, which is most desirable for the academia world. We need to meet them where they are. So this is what this class does. It meets them where they are. So how I start off the class is I get them, let's go to ReadWorks, okay? Because remember, this is the one for comprehension. Go to ReadWorks. We only find articles based off their interest. Okay? Yes. Background knowledge is so very important for understanding. This is about comprehension success, not setting them up for failure. And we're more interest-based learners. And the more interested they are, the more they will comprehend. So it's setting out for success. Let them pick only based off their interest. And remember, our interest is usually people, animals, or nature. So if it's a boy, most likely, and a girl, they're going to pick that one right away. I'm going to tell you right away. What happened? Didn't let me go to that one. Okay, it didn't let me go to that one. So I have looked down, here it is. And they're going to choose, most likely they would choose this. Just saying. It's got people, it's got sports, they're going to choose it. Okay. So I build their background knowledge right away if they already haven't. And I use that based off the picture that the passage provides. So I might say, do you see, what do you see in this picture? You see girls that have what's the word I want to say? In wheelchairs that look like they're playing basketball. And it says, I think that's a country, right? What? Yeah, Australia. So it seems like it's a world league. So are there world leagues for women in wheelchairs? I don't know. Let's look it up. So we already started our research based off of and building the background knowledge. And I'm going to say to them, because you model at first the type of reasoning they need to be using. I don't know how many women leagues there are. How many women wheelchair basketball leagues are there in the world? Hope nobody's trying to get in. Okay. And you better hope that it's gonna answer it real quick. If it doesn't, if it will answer it real quick for you, it'll have just a short paragraph with the answer highlighted, and it's still wonderful. And sometimes that doesn't happen. So I suggest you go to these questions. Don't try to start reading articles right away. Go to these questions. It's gonna better. How many wheelchair basketball players are there? Well, that's cool. Who is the best wheelchair basketball player? How much do wheelchair basketball players get paid? How high is the net in the? Okay, that's good. I'm gonna learn all that stuff. Didn't say how many leagues there are now, but his answers, there's estimated 100,000 people who play wheelchair basketball. From recreation club to elite national teams. There we go. Hence our picture there, elite national teams. And I might ask them, do you know what elite means? And they say no. Okay, let's build up our background knowledge and look at this vocabulary, elite. Sometimes you can right click and it'll go right to the definition. If not, it's okay. You get to show off your handy dandy Webster's, Merriam-Webster's. How many times have I said that? It's just right there. Always use Merriam-Webster. Elite means the best of the class, the choice. Okay, so the best, meaning the best go to these national team leagues. So maybe I can reword it to find how many there are in the world because it still didn't answer our question. Remember, you're modeling the type of reasoning that's good right now for them. You're working your way to have them be able to question these themselves. Elite national team members, teams for wheelchair basketball. And then I gotta add how many. There we go. Got our answer. Yay, 95. So there are 95 national organizations for wheelchair basketball. Is that men and women? Probably so. We know. So let's put how many women are there? Women national elite. It's just not going to answer that for us. But I tell them they can go do that outside research. That means really reading into these articles, right? Okay. So we really built some really great background knowledge just based off the picture and what we see. Remember, we're using the evaluative skills that are best for us, and that's pictures. Pictures we learn best by. So it's always good when they have pictures to talk about. Now I tell them that they're going to do something different that they may never have done before, and that's use mind maps. And I give them a story about how mind maps are what helped me. But it's basically mind maps are giving color, shape, size, dimension to what we're trying to comprehend and understand about our reading. And they can make their mind map as colorful as they want and as creative as they want, like make a wheelchair in the middle, But I tell them my mind maps are actually not even written out anymore. They're in my mind. But I used to write out my mind maps, but that's what they're working towards. And I do have students where they've stopped with mind maps and they're using them in your minds too. So it is possible, but that's for a while. They've been doing this reading research class with you that you can get rid of the mind maps. But so you put the main idea, we know the main idea is going to be with the title. What is the title? Okay, let's see what the title is of this that we're reading. My life has changed. So we don't know what it is exactly about yet, but tell them the main idea is going to go here. Okay. So also tell them you fill out your mind map before you begin to read, because if you're trying to fill it out as you go, it's much easier, and you can always add more bubbles or get rid of bubbles if you need to. But go ahead and start your mind map before you read. So what's different for them is they're going to have a mind map that we fill out, and that the first time we read, we're going to have a stop point and an end point that's highlighted here, which I love ReadWorks because it's highlighted in blue and white, which is a decent color for those who have Erlen syndrome. It's decent. It's not the best now, but it's still better than black and white. And we're going to have a stop and finish. So they're going to read from on to not. Okay. Now the kids that remember, this is where we start with them. When they first start with me, they don't want to read. Okay, and that's fine. Sometimes. Even though I tell you they're fluent at this point because they finished all the class of 1 and 2. But anyway, if they say they don't want to read, that's fine. But you say, well, I got something I need you to do since I'm reading for you. I need you to think about what or why. That's it. I don't want to know how and when and where and who. I actually tell them this, that the world's just made it all too complicated. Our mind only cares about what and why. That's the ethos and pathos. When you answer what or why, the where, when, who, how, all of that will get answered, I promise you, if we find it important enough. It's going to go under the what or the why. Okay? So that's all. 2 things they got to remember: what and why. So I want you to listen for a what and a why. So remember, my anger dominant are going to care more about the what and the facts, and my why people are my shame dominant, who are going to be looking to see more of the why, which is the feeling and all of that. Okay, so I read for him. I start. On a cold morning in Australia, 16-year-old skier Ann Thompson was about to make her last practice run before lunch. At the time, always model tracking, because I do have visual processing, but I skip lines and words and all of that. So it's natural for me. So I model tracking. At the time, Thompson was one of the United States' top junior skiers. She hoped to win an Olympic gold medal in skiing. As she prepared for the last practice run, she couldn't know what it would be, that it would be the last one she'd ever take. As she sped down the hill on her skis, Thompson had a terrible accident. She fell and severed her spinal cord. The spinal cord is made of tissue that carries signals to and from the brain. They tell body parts when and how to move. Thompson's fall took place in August 1985. As a result of the accident, Thompson could no longer walk. Her skiing career was over, but her life as an athlete was not. I can reference the fact that we had read about basketball and now this is about skiing, so we can put 2 and 2 together to figure out this is not just about basketball. It's any sport for those in a wheelchair, right? We can conclude that. So I asked them, what is your, I say that real fast. You don't want to keep them forget their what or why. 'Cause remember, kids have working memory problems. What is your what or why that you got from this? Well, they hadn't been doing much with you. So they might say, I don't know. I say, well, you can look back, read back and see if you have a what or why. So they read back, they're probably skimming, maybe stuck on the first sentence. That's building something that's coming later, is just looking back. They say, you say, okay, did you find something? They'll say, no, I didn't. Okay, well, let me model to you. Let me show you what I found. I found lots of good stuff. Found lots of good whys. So I look and I say, because naturally I'm gonna have a lot of whys. Because you know why I've already said why I'm gonna have a lot of whys. So I want to know about her. Now that's not gonna be surprising to anybody because I'm a wire and I want to know what she looks like. That's not surprising. So let's look at her. Let's look and see what she looks like. That's what actually that's a what. What does she look like? So I did do a what. And that's okay. And here she is. Ah, yeah. What? What? We see where she's skiing here, and she is the one that's the basketball person. So here's where my natural why comes in. Why did she go to basketball from skiing? So answer that natural questioning right away. Don't be worried about, oh, we got to get back to the passage. We got to get back to the passage. We got to get this done. We got to read through it, answer the questions. No, this is the whole point of the whole thing. It's the freedom to get those natural questions answered. And then we can go find out what we need to find out to go answer the questions. Let's get our whys out of the way. So I'm gonna say, and I hope it answers, why did Jones Scare and Thompson go from skiing to basketball? Mhm. Well, there's gonna be lots and lots about her, I see. And I'm skim reading. I tell the kids that I'm skim reading to help us try to find the answer. And I find something that maybe we could look up and read more about. But I don't see anything. Maybe the passage will answer it for us. I bet it will. Okay. So I did at least attempt to go answer my why before we moved on to going back to the passage to read. That made me feel better in my mind. See, because I tell them we're naturally smart. If we don't get those wise answers, it's just so hard for us to move on, isn't it? And they all have agreed with me. Okay, even though we didn't find the answer, we at least attempted. So same thing. I say we're gonna read from here to here. Oh, I'm sorry. I went straight on to the next paragraph and I forgot about my mind map. So yeah, we read something and we had come up with a what first. So I put what in the bubble. What was our what? Do you remember our what being? It was it was what it was going to be what it was related to a who that was and her. I want to know what she looked like. Who and Ann Kennedy, is that her name? Let me look back and see. Names are almost impossible for me. Faces, no, Ann Thompson. Faces, I can recognize somebody from kindergarten. Ann Thompson. Okay. And I got to see what she looked like. That made me happy. And then next I had a why, and it's why did she go from basketball to skiing? And that's going to be blank because I know I can go back and do that extra research and fill in that blank when after the class is over. Keyword. When you can't find the answer right away, after the class is over, it's available for them to get that answer. Okay, let's go to our second paragraph. Now let's pretend like they are now confident reading in front of you, okay? And they say, we're going to read from the next paragraph only, and we're going to remember to look and think about the what and why. So now they're confident reading with you. You can add on, the what and our why is our lookup, and the word vocabulary and pronunciation is a fix-up. So if they are reading and they mispronounce, that's now our fix-up. So remember, what and why is our lookup, and now we're going to have a fix-up. That's any word that they mispronounce. They mispronounce more for reasons of being, at this point, advanced phonics and vocab and rules, advanced phonics rules, especially the ones that we had done in Conquering Big Words, the E-A-R being E-E-R or E-R-E, those type. Or they don't know what the word reads. Okay, so they read, and I'm listening very well to see if they mispronounce. So it's added now vocabulary onto it. I never missed a beat. The accent didn't change anything, Thompson told Extra. I never missed a beat. I'm the same person I was before. After the incident. Okay, so I'm listening. They said incident. Okay, that's terrible. I shouldn't have said incident because it won't be in the beginning that they mispronounce. That's the one that they can process. It's mean less likely to process in the middle or the last. So they say not incident. They say assa. They say astent. They say astent. So, okay, after the astent, Thompson joined the cruisers. I don't fix it up right away. I wait till they're finished reading. Can never interrupt their reading. Thompson joined the cruisers, a program with wheelchair athletes in Connecticut. Can't say that word, Miss Tricia. It's okay, because that's a sight word. Just say Connecticut. And they're like, okay, Connecticut. Thompson's home state. We brought her down to see what was happening, said Don Chafe, a cruiser official. At first, she said, I can't do that. And then she realized, I can do that. I'm going to do that. And we're so proud of her. So I say, before we begin, I say, ooh, I like what you did here. You noticed you had dropped the S and you went back and said it. That's right. If it doesn't look right tonight, you go back and say it. So it's not wrong. Okay. So I give them positive reinforcements before I'm about to do a fix up and look up. So I say to them, okay, so great, you read that. And so now also let's fix up and look up. Okay. First, I'm going to fix up a word that gave you a little bit of trouble. And so I give them time to try to say it again. They say again, accident, accident. What I just said that they said. Okay, let's look at this word. I see why you said accident, because the C before I does say what, and then you know that we don't repeat sounds. If two letters make the same sound, you don't repeat it. But these don't make the same sound. That's what got you. So it's gonna be act. So you say your act, and then you can say your sa, and then so we hear axa, and we hear dent. What do you hear all together? Accident. So I'm doing conquering big words with them. Conquering big words, you can explain things like the fact that this is not going to be when two letters make the same sound, you make the sound once. It's going to be, this one does say its sound and it's ac, and then then accident. And I say, and also, do you know what accident means? And they say, yeah, I know what accident means. I said, I thought so. But it is your opportunity to look up and see what it means also. Okay, so now that was our fix it. Now let's look up what or why question came up for you. So they're very, you've modeled enough for them, they're able to tell you. I want to know, they say to you, I want to know where Connecticut is. I don't know where that is. Okay, I'd love to show you where Connecticut is. Let's go look. It's one of those northeastern states in the United States that it's really small, so it's really clumped together with other ones. So I'm looking up because this was their actual, where is their actual what. So that is all right. Okay, let's see. Well, you can give me a reference. Here's New York, right? New York, New York. It's the city. So go straight up to northeast, and there we have Connecticut. So that is where she was, right? In the story. So she was part of a group called the Cruisers that were athletes in Connecticut, or we just saw. And do you have any other whats or whys? Let's see. You can look back if you need. Uh, I don't have any, they say. And you say, okay. Well, let's just go back to our mind map and put it was a what, and that was related to a where, and it's Connecticut. And I just ran out of room. Thing is writing with I have the big pencil and not the smaller one. Now the abbreviation, we don't need to write out long words. We don't need a bunch of words. I tell them that. You don't need a bunch of words. You just need something to help recall your memory. Okay, so I'm just going to go CONT for Connecticut. I know that's probably not the proper abbreviation for it. I don't know what it is. So I'm just going to put CONT. The main thing is you tell them it's not about, did you spell it right? It's just something to help recall their memory. Okay, so pretend like, because I got to get off and do the blameless lives. Let's pretend like they filled this all out. You tell them the main thing is you fill it all out, but you look back at it. The thing is if you don't look back at it, it wasn't any good. And how do you read your mind map? From left to right, top to bottom. From top to bottom, right to left is how you read your mind map. And that way you have it all summed up for you. So don't forget to visit your mind map, is what I say. So I'm gonna have to go because I will do this class number 4 next Friday because there's other ways to scaffold it much higher, and that's getting off the mind maps. But again, start with the mind map first, because then they're all up here because our visual spatial reasoning, we can fill out a mind map and our imagery and our imagination, we can do them without having to physically write them. But it takes a long time to get to that point. And at that point, they're also going to be really good at looking what was the why and what I had, what was the why and what. And anyway, so, okay, I'll see you guys later. I'm going to stop record. You're going to have to come back for the other. I'm not recording the other. Okay.